Welcome to another episode of the Rock Fantasy Files, and we're here today with Paul Mazurkiewicz. I got it right this time, from the mighty Cannibal Corpse, and we're all looking really forward to the new album coming out April 16th on Metal Blade Records, Violence Unimagined. And it better be pretty violent, because some violent, especially John's a horror movie buff. He can probably imagine a lot of horror, so it's going to be unimaginable, the horror coming out.
Exactly, man.
And welcome to the show, John. And of course, John, thanks for joining me tonight again. And Paul, what can you tell us about the new record?
Well, thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks.
It's an honor. I mean, it's our new record, right? It's the next chapter in the Cannibal Corpse story, I guess I'd like to say. We're just kind of plodding along, doing our thing that we've been doing for 32 years now, I guess. And, it's great. I think it's a good record. I mean, obviously, everyone always says, very happy with their new releases. And, you should be as a musician. I guess you're always trying to do the best you can and move forward and create the music that's in the time frame given to you, kind of thing. And these are the songs we came up with. And I think we're just trying to, just better ourselves as we go, try to outdo the last record, the last song you wrote. And I think this album is a pretty intense, aggressive Cannibal Corpse record. Me personally, I really kind of try to step up my game, in the drumming department, of course, in the last, say, 10 years, it seems like I really just been kind of pushing the bar, just really trying to, get better in every facet. And, this is a very drum heavy record, I think. And, just some solid songs, man. Those guys are just writing some great tunes. Alex, Rob, and now with the addition of Eric, him contributing and everything. He wrote 3 songs for the record. So awesome. It's a pretty intense record. I think the fans are really going to dig it, but I think we'll probably surprise some people. It's definitely a step up.
Everybody that's heard the new single, the Inhumane Harvest, has been raving about that track, at least, customer base and stuff that I've chatted with. What are, and I was going to ask, of course, what went into filming that video is pretty intense. And I guess it's all about kind of like human organ harvest and stuff like that, correct?
Yeah. That's the song is getting great attention. I think it was a great song to release first for the single kind of a thing, to get the fans going here and tell them about a new record. And the song, it's a great song. Rob wrote that. And then of course having a cool video. David Brodsky did the video. We've worked with him before, and he's worked with a lot of bands. Great director, great horror guy. And really it was just kind of him working with Rob and exactly what the song's about the organ harvesting, and just kind of taking the lyrics and going with it, nothing too far from that, I guess, basically. So and a lot of it was him. A lot of it, we kind of let the video guys usually, kind of go off and do their own thing. Of course, we want to sign off on it and everything and be happy with the final version and be, what's happening for the video. We want to, we want it to fit Cannibal Corpse, and he did a great job, man. Yeah. We didn't, like everybody else, you don't know what's going to happen until you finally see it. And then you're just like, oh my God, yeah, this is pretty brutal. It's pretty intense. Definitely Cannibal Corpse, fits our vein. So we've disturbed some people from what I'm gathering. So I guess we did our job, and Dave did his job. But yeah, what a, like I said, a great song to release first, and a really cool, video that accompanied that. So
for sure.
Yeah, I agree. The new songs sound really good. In my opinion, it sounds once again like kind of a step up, with songwriting, and just the riffs are very has a mixture between traditional but also new. It sounds fresh, so that's really an awesome thing, especially for a band like you guys who have so much material out and been doing for so long. A lot of times, the creativity gets less and less over time. So I just had to say that I know when I first listened to the track, I was like, oh wow, this is really, I mean, it was great track, but also, I mean, I'm a musician. I analyze the crap out of everything.
Mhm.
And I was just like, well, that's a really cool, I was listening to riffs. Those are really some really interesting, cool riffs. I just wanted to bring that up.
Oh, well, thanks, Sean. I appreciate it, man. Means a lot. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it just seems like we're really just kind of upping our game in the songwriting department as we go here. I mean, especially Rob. I mean, obviously, Alex has been, writing some amazing songs over
Yeah.
the years, and but Rob just seems like he's come into his own in the last few records. It seems like the more popular songs on the records are Rob's songs. And then this one is a Rob's tune, and man, exactly, dude. He just, it's a mix of new, mix of old. It's just a great representation of where we're at, I think, right now. And it's one of my favorites. I think, we wanted to put out a song that I felt that obviously everybody wanted to put out as a band, and we just felt that would, the fans would dig. I mean, we're hoping, of course, that they're going to like all the songs, but this song in particular is probably my favorite song on the record. It's just such a, like you were saying, great riffs and just a great feel to it. Good groove. Something a little different. We got that breakdown part and all that, but
Yeah.
just a solid song. Yeah, Rob is coming to his own, I think.
I think though, in songwriting wise, especially since the Corpse Grinder years, it seems like it's getting eventually better and better. I mean, the structuring is better, but also you're mixing the technical ability, especially on the guitar oriented on the area and bass, but still keeping it as catchy as some of the earlier work. So I think that's a really good thing to do, because I mean that shows real talent, because anybody can get more technical after a while and everybody can get more complex, but to still have all the complexities but also just mostly concerned about having a good riff is more important than, I mean, because you can be as technical as you want and it's going to go nowhere because if the rhythm's not there, but you always seem to retain the rhythm. Like I just, most bands, I think go too far with the technicality where you're like, well, they're losing their songs, but you guys keep it. I'm pretty impressed with that, I have to say. And just to hear something new in 2021, still have, that's, you've earned where you are now with that. Cause that's really a difficult task.
Oh, yeah, it is, man. I appreciate it, really. I mean, I know I agree what you're saying, just looking back at how we've gone, especially since George has been in the band, and in the way the songwriting has gone. I mean, it's just, we've added some technicality in that, but always retain that Cannibal Corpse sound, that riff, that good song. I mean, I think that's, what we grew up with, no matter what. It was always just about writing a good song. And yeah, I think we're just doing it right, I guess. I mean, we do our thing, and we hope everybody likes it, right? And I guess we're doing something right if we're, 15 out in now, and having the career that we've had. So but yeah, awesome, John. I appreciate the the words there. So
Real quickly before I let Steve ask a question, but I just wanted to say that in my personal opinion, and I think I've probably mentioned it to you, I know I mentioned it to Alex before, is that I actually prefer the post Chris Barnes stuff more than the Chris Barnes. I mean, those songs were catchy. I mean, I just wasn't a fan of his vocal style necessarily, but I mean, the songs were good, but I just think that the band really came to where it needed to be afterwards. Like it was like, to me, it was like, okay, early on, they're good. It's good songs, or what. It's not, nothing's wrong with it necessarily, but it got to where, things now I think are just really firing on all cylinders. Like it's really great stuff. All I'm saying is basically that Cannibal Corpse to me is a band that I started off to me as a nice guys and so band to a band that really does some amazing material. But put aside the fact of the popularity, I'm just saying the quality of the songs I think are just better now in general. So
yeah,
I just had to say that.
Yeah, no, and that's a great analogy, and I totally agree with you. I look at the early Cannibal as, it's early Cannibal. It's us as kids trying to find our way, basically. I mean, we're a brand new band, and then you're thrust into making a record, and you don't even have enough material, and you've only been around for 9 months. I mean, so we got lucky in that way, of course, but I always looked at it like, man, that's great that we have that, because a lot of bands, exactly, they mull around for a few years, before they maybe get a record deal or something. So our first album could have been, whatever, who knows, like The Bleeding or Vile, maybe, because that's only a few years after our conception, kind of a thing. So I think it's kind of cool to have Eat Back to Life and Butcher to show the progress, of what we did, and then got to the point where we are today. Right. I always look at The Bleeding as kind of being that sort of turning point, where we're going, wow, hey, this is what the bands should be sounding like. This is what we want, and it took us a few records to get to that point, and then exactly, come Vile. I mean, especially Kill comes out, up until the, to the present here. It's what Cannibal Corpse is meant to be. Right. So I totally understand what you're saying, John, and I really 100% agree with you.
Yeah, the first couple albums are absolute death metal classics, so in their own right, of course.
Yeah.
What are some of the other song titles on the new album, and maybe you could tell us a little bit about them if you've got them in front of you, because I don't have them in front of me, because I looked on Metal Blade's press release. I didn't really see a list of song titles.
I know there's one out there. I know they did put it out there.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. No, that's right. There should be a big bio, kind of a whole thing, the new press release, with talking about the new record, and so the song titles are available.
I see Murderous Rampage.
All right,
John's got them.
Yeah,
good.
Yeah, but yeah.
What are some of the song titles, John?
I don't know. Yeah, what Slowly Spawn.
Slowly Sawn.
Oh, Sawn. I'm sorry, Slowly Sawn. Yeah. Follow the Blood.
Follow the Blood.
You have Overture.
Over Torture.
That's Over Torture. Oh, yes. Yeah, my eyes are bad these days. I can't. It's age.
I hear you.
You have Inhuman Harvest. Was it Ritual Annihilation?
Ritual Annihilation.
Yeah.
So you said Murderous Rampage.
Murderous Rampage is the opener.
That sounds pretty heavy.
They have a Necrogenic Resurrection is one. Surround, Kill, Devour is another. Cerements of the Flayed, that's the last song on the record. Bound and Burned would be another one. And I think I'm missing maybe, Condemnation, Contagion is one.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that might be it. There might be one other one.
I think you got them all.
I think might have got them.
Yeah.
But typical Cannibal stuff here, typical Cannibal. Yeah.
It doesn't sound like you softened up at all, lyrically.
I'm looking forward to hearing that opening track. I really like this, like the name of that.
Yeah, that's a good one, man. The opening track is a good one. Another Rob song, and I only wrote 2 songs lyrically actually on this record, and that being one of them, Murderous Rampage. So
okay.
Yeah. So it's a good one. I think it's a solid album opener, and you always try to put something, a little more obviously, that's going to stand out, maybe, hit them right off the bat. And so that's a good one.
I have a question as far as lyric wise. I mean, you wrote a lot of songs about killing people and horror and death. I mean, does it get a little rough coming up with ideas? I don't know how many albums you're in, but it's a lot.
Yeah, I know. No kidding. 15 albums in now, and it's like how many different ways can you talk about killing someone, right? Zombies and stuff. I mean, we seem to do it, I guess. We feel that it's kind of fresh still. I mean, as long as
it is. It's
something
good.
A little bit different. I mean, the good thing is we got all of us contribute. Which is a great.
Yes.
Not just one guy. If it was one guy, I think that'd be very difficult. To keep coming up with some new fresh ideas and ways. Talking about it and all that.
Yeah, get a couple people more people contributing. You just have to contribute a few and you have it. That makes sense.
Exactly. And we did change it up a little bit in this. I mean, if you know about the band, of course, we're pretty much 98% fictional horror. Of course,
Yeah.
we rarely tie anything in that's true to life. I mean, there may be a coincidence, or this might be paralleled or something, and then there's maybe one or two that we go, okay, that is based on that. Well, on this record, Condemnation Contagion is one that Eric wrote, and Eric wrote his lyrics, which is a good thing, because exactly kind of gives us a different. Here we go. We got another lyricist in the band that can, pump it out. He can do it. So he wanted to write his songs. And that's why it only kind of gave me two lyrically. So that was fine. Let Eric write his three. So he wrote Condemnation Contagion. And it's pretty much about, the pandemic for the most part,
Okay.
I mean, it was, obviously we recorded right when it was happening. And, a lot of times the lyrics come at the last stage of all that. So, so everything was hitting the fan, and he, kind of got inspired by, that kind of a thing, which is brutal in its own sense, I guess. So
it is.
And then another song, Follow the Blood, that Rob wrote. It's pretty much kind of like a traditional war story, with soldiers and guns, which we never really delve into.
No.
So that's a little new for us. So, we got a couple different twists there, some different subject matter of the sorts, but then, right, the typical, murderous rampage, slowly sawn, stuff like that. That's, you can tell
nothing's wrong with the classics,
Hey, it works for us, right? So we got to keep it going.
It's kind of like watching an 80s classic, horror movie, you love them, so it's
yeah, we got to keep it going, John. That's right.
Cannibal Corpse kind of could be the soundtrack to pandemics and stuff, with the zombie songs and Kill or Be Killed and stuff like that. Yeah, so you guys might have a inside on it for this fucking mess we're living in. I guess I have a question that was kind of asked to me by one of our viewers, and we're all sad to see Pat O'Brien not in the band anymore, but what's it like what was it like working without him and working with Eric? Did Eric bring like not a breath of fresh air, but just a new face into the band, and there's some new ideas or stuff like that?
Of course. I mean, we've been through a few changes throughout our career, of course, and then whenever you bring in somebody different, new, how does it not give you that jolt of energy, that kind of breath of fresh air, so to say, right? I mean, and Eric's a great guy, great, hardworking individual. I mean, you can't say
so talented too.
Oh, I mean, talented in every way, man. Such a positive guy. I mean, just incredible. Obviously we worked with him for years with the records that he's produced, and then we've known him for years as well. Like you have, John, and and then him touring with us. So we've done everything with him until finally, here you go. Now he's contributing. He's in the band and he's contributing. So if anything, it's cool just to have a new, twist on the songs, a new take on the songs. There you go. You got Eric coming in. He wrote 3 songs, and he's got to write Cannibal style Eric now. He's not writing for Hate Eternal. He's not writing for Morbid Angel. He's writing for Cannibal Corpse. So he, I think it was a little bit of a challenge for him. Just
it's probably fun for him too, though.
Yeah,
to do something different.
Exactly. Like the song Condemnation Contagion. I think when you hear it, it's a great song. It's a great pounding, kind of just straightforward song, but it's definitely something different for Eric. So he had a lot of fun writing this way, and like I said, the fans, I believe, are going to like it. It was fun for us to have him, and it is great having him. And like you can't say enough about him, how great of a guy he is. And what an amazing addition to the band, of course.
Yeah, it's one of those things where of course Pat's going to be missed in the band because he's been with the band for so long and contributed a lot. But at the same time, Eric is a great, replacement, or not really replacement, but just, another great guitar player to take that position in the band. So, I mean, it's kind of a, it's a great, I guess replacement, we'll say, but it's a great replacement for the band,
Yeah.
If it has to happen, Eric is definitely the right person to do it.
It was a no-brainer to us, really.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So, perfect. Exactly right.
Yeah, I got to see you guys perform with Eric a couple times. I was at the Decibel Music Tour at the PlayStation Theater where you guys were on.
Right. Yeah.
Morbid Angel, and you had 2 great bands on that bill along with you. Necrot, who I've become quite a fan of, and Blood Incantation.
Yeah.
We got super bands, and then course, I did catch you guys, which I thought was a great bill for an amphitheater, and it was great to see you guys on the road with Slayer on the farewell tour.
Yeah.
As soon as we heard that you guys were warming up, I'm like, man, got to go see this, because I'm also a big fan of Amon Amarth.
All right.
We were talking about you guys singing about talking about torture and murder and stuff for all those years. Amon Amarth has done the same with Viking. So
Yeah,
you know, it can be done, and they're still putting out great stuff also.
Right.
We lost
Right.
John for a second.
Yeah, I did see that.
John, he must have got scared. We were talking about too much horror movies.
Sorry about that. Oops.
But we drove down to, I'm up in, where I'm at in Middletown, New York, up by the city, but we drove down to Camden to see that Slayer farewell tour. And I thought you guys were great as opening on that. And I would have went and saw the final leg again if it was like the same lineup, but they kind of threw bands in that I wasn't as much passionate about. So I did not see that.
All right. Right.
I ran into you guys at the White Eagle, which is in Newark, when you were on the road with Hate Eternal. That was right around that same time period. I don't think Eric was in the band yet then, though. I think
No.
form up for
Yeah,
you guys. And then a few years ago, Rock Fantasy sponsored the Summer Slaughter tour up at the Chance Theater, and that was
right.
great bill, because it was like, Summer Slaughter went with a lot of the newer stuff, with nothing wrong with that, but for me it was perfect because you guys had Nile on the road, you had Suffocation, you had Crisian.
Oh, that was a great bill. Great bill.
It was a really fun time. And then in my rock fantasy history, you guys did an in-store, and I kick myself now because all day I said, I'm going to put it up as my background on here, because it was a picture of you guys, and it was when George first joined the band.
Right.
I was skinny as a rail, and George was a skinny, tall, skinny kid. And I apologize for not putting that up. And I'm like, man, I forgot all about that today.
No, that's all right, Stephen. Yeah, some great times there, man. It was awesome, being at the store. I know that was, geez, how long ago now? What, 96?
Whatever.
98.
That was the Bleeding album, right?
It would have been after, because George came into Vile. So
Vile, it was the Vile.
Yeah, so it would have been 96, 97, probably 96. That was. So, geez, 25 years ago, crazy.
Yeah,
hard to remember a lot.
I remember watching you guys. I was living in Cleveland then, and I don't know where you played, maybe like Akron or something like that. And I remember, I've always went to your shows every time I was in the area, but man,
Sure.
I just remember, I was super happy because I knew George from Monstrosity and his Corpse Grinder band and stuff like that from back. So I was like, oh, it's really cool, that he was joining the band. I just remember hearing him with you guys. It just clicked right off the bat. It sounded so good. And I mean, even the songs, like, the early songs they sounded better, in my personal opinion. I know it's debatable, but everybody has their own opinion. But for me, I thought it sounded great. And it's like made me actually appreciate some of the earlier stuff more, because after I heard his interpretation of it, I was like, oh, wow, it sounds great. And it was just, one thing I wanted to bring up about what Cannibal is, it's an important, obviously it's an important death metal band, but for people of our generation of bands, Cannibal was a band that really started in a way where not many people really, really believed in the band early on. And it just always been, showing people to piss off, like you just, you guys worked really hard early on. And I know so many people in the industry were just like, how is this band Cannibal Corpse, doing good? Or like, people just didn't get it at the time. So I really admired the fact that you guys always pushed hard, and you've, earned your place, like I mentioned before, in, the top echelon of death metal and of extreme metal. And it was all from hard work. Throughout the years, it's something that, for someone like me, I knew the band really early on. I think Alex Webster might have gave Henry from former band Revenant a demo tape at L'Amour's or something. I
Yep.
can't remember, but it was a long time ago. So to see somebody from back in like the same old school time as us and to be so high up is just such a wonderful thing. And it's like kind of I don't know, it's just like a pride, or you feel proud, like, yeah, one of us like really stepped up to the plate and did some great stuff. I mean, a lot of bands did. There's a lot of great bands in that era, but it's just nice to see it. You guys are able to kind of really shine because it was, I mean, a lot of people noticed that you guys worked really hard for what you got. It's not like you just got handed a silver platter and all of a sudden Cannibal Corpse is the, greatest thing since sliced cheese,
Yeah, but I appreciate it, man. No, really awesome, John. I mean, we did it our way, right? We believed in ourselves. We just stuck to our guns. We did what we wanted to do from day one, and we didn't let anything bother us. Exactly. The negative criticism, like you were saying early on, where I mean, I remember those days. Everybody just like, oh my gosh, Cannibal Corpse. Yeah, we'll be around for how long? This is it's not going to last, and they're, whatever, everything that was said. And I know it's amazing to, that here we are. I mean, talking about, 32 years and just, but just the fact that we did it our way. Exactly.
Yeah, that's honorable. And because I mean, it was like, the critics, the industry people all kind of shunned you guys. I mean, yeah, they were happy because you're doing well. They can make some money off you, but nobody really believed in the band, but it was the fans. The fans are the ones that really, really connected with you. And you guys always kept your eye on the ball, where it was like, we're playing for ourselves and for the people that like us.
Exactly.
And it's kind of just from knowing the history of the band, it's a really amazing, hardworking, and it's just nice to know that the hard work pays off for for you guys.
Right. Well, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Really awesome, John. It means a lot, man. Thanks.
People from outside the genre, if you mention death metal, I think like maybe that's what John is kind of coming across with too. You mentioned the genre death metal, most people are going to come up with Cannibal Corpse because, is it part with the Jim Carrey tie into the movie? I think that really pushed you
I think
mainstream a little bit. Jim Carrey coming on like and doing death metal voices, but it definitely, he was a fan of the extreme music too, I believe. But if you guys are playing in the States or probably anywhere in a death metal bill, you guys are going to be the headliners, and I think that means a lot. And the last I agree with John. I mean, I love the early stuff with Barnes, like Stripped, Raped, and Strangled. I had actually covered that in a band back in the 90s.
No kidding. No kidding.
But, like the newer stuff is just amazing, I think.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it.
Powerful, and it's sound, kind of polished, and you got, it's together for sure.
Well, thanks, man. Yeah, I mean, the good thing about it's crazy for us because it seems like we've kind of crossed over into that. We're a death metal band, we're an underground band. We still feel that way, as popular as I guess as the band has gotten. And then share the stage with Slayer and play festivals with some of these, our heroes, and be looked at as kind of more like maybe just a heavy metal band, which is amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just crazy. So, I mean, but it's an awesome feeling,
That's a great thing for death metal just in general, because you're able to get these opportunities that not very many bands that are as extreme as you guys get. I mean, obviously open for Slayer, also even just playing with other styles of
like
metal,
a lot, Mayhem Fests and stuff like that.
Mayhem Fest, like you had, I don't know, new metal bands, just all the whole genre you're able in, and it's a great thing because that all pulls in people from different styles of music to like you guys, and then that trickles down to all of our smaller bands out here that are it's a great thing for the scenes. And I just want you to know that it's not something that I think a lot of us appreciate it and realize that what's good for Cannibal is good for everybody in this music.
The death metal family.
Yeah.
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 Totally hear you,
Uh,
man. No, great.
I guess I have one or two questions I ask everybody. This isn't even pertaining to the band now and the new release. It's an album that changed your life, Paul. It got you into metal or got you into extreme metal or whatever you want to say.
Well, I mean, I hate to be cliche, I guess, but I guess I have to. And, I mean, who doesn't, cite Rain and Blood Slayer as one of those defining records, right?
Yeah.
And I think for me and for us, of course, it's all obviously it's the timing, you'd know that, John.
Yes.
Even same thing. I mean, I remember getting Rain and Blood on cassette when it first came out. And yeah, how old am I? Right, 17, 18, just started playing, I was, latecomer, of course, start playing drum 16, we got our first bands going and everything. And, we're trying to find our way as musicians, and we're into the heavy stuff, of course, and we're already loving Slayer, Hell Awaits, Show No Mercy, and obviously all the other bands that are around at that time. But man, when Rain and Blood, when you put that on and you first heard that, I mean, I've always cited, of course, like Lombardo is my drumming hero, especially for this kind of music. And, hearing that album for the first time, it was just like, wow, so mind blowing. And it made me right then and there, this is how I want to try to play, the drums and approach them, just that super aggressive, kind of manner. And I mean, everything about the record, of course, the songwriting, I mean, it's just flawless, the vocals, I mean, everything, right? So you kind of wanted, that was your like template at that point. I know it was for me and the guys in Cannibal, just to, to try to do our, emulate that the way we would, in our own way. But yeah, that was a very, very influential, huge album for me, to push me to the next level and to, for the modern kind of influence there. Yeah.
Okay, cool. What was a couple of your more memorable performances or maybe festivals or something like that, or a fun road story for this episode before we start to wrap things up a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple. I mean, obviously, played so many shows. I mean, very surreal moments, like playing, say, like Wacken for the first time or something.
Okay.
Where you're just like in front of that many people. It's just insane. Not obviously everyone's there to just see you, but you are playing in front of a boatload of people that is just like, whoa, this is just crazy. This is unbelievable. It just doesn't seem right. So shows like that are always just going to be just mind blowing. Not that they're the best shows, of course, but they're just, it's just crazy to, so used to playing in front of, a couple hundred people, 1,000 people, and then you're in an environment like that. So those are some amazing shows. I mean, shows, I remember a couple in particular in Chile and Santiago, and probably within the last 10 years, I think the last couple of times we've been down there. I mean, obviously South America has a great scene, great death metal scene, and the shows are incredible. And man, Santiago, I don't know what it is with Chile though. We've played there a couple of times. Insane. I know there's footage on YouTube of Hammer Smashed Face. I think the last two times we were there, where the pit is just like unbelievable. And you're knowing this is just for us, right? You're playing in front of 5,000 people, and it's not a festival. It's like, it's our show, and it's like, this is just incredible. I mean, amazing. The energy. That just, and then they sing along, how they do the singing along with the riff. It's just unbelievable. You'll never forget stuff like that. Those are probably some of the most memorable, performances in that kind of a thing.
Yeah, but I'm sorry to interrupt.
No.
Santiago too. Yeah, one of my most memorable shows to play was that show we played with you guys in Death at that Chile Metal Fest.
That's right. I forgot about that. I just mentioned it. That was a great show, wasn't it?
That was insane.
That was insane. That was insane, wasn't it, man? Jeez, that was amazing. Yeah, that was. Now talk about a long time ago, right? Holy crap.
That was a long time ago.
What year are you guys talking here?
This was
94, 90.
It might be 97, 98 or something.
Was it been that long?
It was when
Lord was in the band still. Well, yeah, I guess he was. You're right.
Yeah, because I remember Death was on Sound of Perseverance because Richard was there. Christy was on drums.
You're right. I want to say 98. I don't know why.
Maybe 98.
I want to say 98. You're right. You want to say 98.
Yeah, that at that, I mean, that still might be the craziest show. I don't know. We played some crazy shows, but that's up there on the top of the list. I mean, I mean, they were shooting off fireworks at that
Yeah.
show and throwing toilet paper all over the venue. It was just,
Right.
I mean, it was a great memory.
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, unbelievable how they take it to that next level, isn't it? You know, but that was a great one. I know. Geez, I'm trying to, you know, it stinks when you can't. You got to try to pull memories out too.
The South American fans are
30
just
years.
like so into metal, and I made so many friends in the New York City scene. Of course, I haven't seen any of them since we haven't had a concert, but just guys you don't really know, but when you see them at a show, they come up and they talk about, you know, new albums or the shows, and definitely the New York City scene is definitely.
Yeah, there's some of the most fanatic, definitely. You know, when every time we go down to South America, you know, everywhere down there, really Mexico down.
Yeah, Mexico's
like
amazing too.
Unbelievable. Yeah, Mexico City, another one, had some amazing shows. But yeah, they are very passionate about their metal, and it's great, you know.
And I tell you, it's not even the death metal bands. Even when Rush played there on that Rock in Rio, like
Awesome.
they were like taking backs, like
they're singing YYZ.
I know, that was amazing to see that.
The Maiden shows, amazing.
Oh yeah.
Can't
wait to go back.
Yeah, just a couple more questions I had. One was I was just curious early on, because I had the first demo, and I think it was released where Chris Barnes' vocals sounded more like a Don Doty or something like that.
Right.
Was the idea to change the vocal style? Was something you guys were looking at? I'm just curious how that transition went, because I remember, I mean, I heard that first demo, you know, I have another demo out, and I thought that was really killer. And then I remember seeing you guys, I think it was before your album came out. Yeah, it was before your album came out at G Willikers. Right. You played, DSI was supposed to play with you, but they didn't show up or something like that. Right. And then I seen you guys play, and I was expecting Don Doty style vocals, and then he comes out sounding like almost like Will from Mortician or something like that, you know?
Yeah, I know, crazy.
Yeah, I'm just curious that story.
Yeah. I mean, I think, like, you know, getting back to what we were saying earlier about just kind of like developing, you know, as the band grew in a way, you know. I mean, when we formed, we're coming obviously out of the thrash movement, you know, I mean, late 80s, and you know, there's obviously not too much in the way of death metal, you know, happening, you know, right then. So I think, you know, being such huge fans of Creator and Dark Angel, exactly. And I mean, even a hint of probably Blaine from The Accused. We love The Accused.
Yeah, The Accused is great. I love that band.
Yeah, me too. Love him so much. Oh God, amazing. You know, I think Chris, you know, loved him as well. And, you know, it was kind of a mix of all that kind of thing going on. Mm-hmm. And then, right, you know, I mean, we were just changing so rapidly, I guess, and the scene was changing. So when, you know, we do the demo, and that would have been early 89. And then we record 10 months later or something like that, I guess, you know, when we recorded.
Short? Wow.
Yeah, it was, because when we were formed in December of 88, and we signed the Metal Blade contracts in July of 89. And then we were recording by the end of the year. It was either early 20, or we were early 90 or late 89. It was unbelievable, right? We don't even have enough material to record an album, and we're kind of rushing to get it done. Yeah. But I think everything was changing so quick, you know, how the 80s went like that, where one day it's different from the next, and, you know, new band, new style, you know, somebody's taking it harder to the edge, vocals and all. So I remember, the way I remember it was, I believe Altars of Madness might have been out, and then of course Obituary, and when we had Death, I think, you know, with the vocals with Scream Bloody Gore, and I think it was just gravitating towards that. And I can't remember if it was just really strictly Barnes saying, well, I want to sing like that, or we were all kind of just, you know, pushing for that. I mean, I think it might have been more of a natural thing that he just felt like, well, this is what we need to do, or I need to do, because this is where the band's going, and this is the music we're really loving. And I don't think, I remember it just being a natural kind of progression in a way, and nobody questioning it, you know, no one going, oh man, we need the vocals that you did on the demo. It was almost like, well, no, yeah, right. You know, we're moving forward, and everything's getting more guttural, and, you know, this is the music that we're putting out. This is what needs to be done. So I know it is crazy how quick of a transition it was for that, but I think it was just, like I said, just had to happen, you know, with what was happening in the scene like that at the time.
Was Brian Siegel surprised when he heard the album? Was like, holy crap, he changed vocal styles.
Yeah, actually, good question, right? Because obviously he heard the demo. He signs us because of the demo, right? You know,
Yeah.
And then he's probably like, "What the hell?" Yeah, it's a good question. I don't know if I remember him answering that, or if he did, I don't recall what his view on that was. You know, whether he was like, "Oh yeah, of course," you know, everything's going that way. Or I know Brian. If you know Brian, he's obviously into the more of the thrash and you know, and the regular metal. So yeah, exactly. Was he more into the style of vocals that we did on the demo, or did he you know, yeah, did he freak out when he first heard my phone? Oh my God, what did these guys do? You know, so I'm gonna have to ask him, John. I will ask him.
I think, yeah, he probably was like mortified at first, and then like said, well, okay, well, we'll put it out, see what happens. And then
they're probably right. All right, we already signed these guys. I guess we're stuck. You know, put it out. Hey, they won't be around too long, right? You know, they're terrible.
Not with a name like that.
Yeah, I know.
Cannibal Corpse, they're never going to hit the top 40.
Yeah, they're never going anywhere. You know?
Yeah, they used to say that all the time back then. It's like well, Cannibal Corpse. You know, how is a band like Cannibal Corpse ever going to do anything? You know,
right.
It's like
now there's even a band that's like a tribute act called Cannabis Corpse.
Exactly. You know, flattery, right? You know, I mean, well,
let's sing about weed smoking.
I know. You know, funny story about that, Stephen, is when Cannabis Corpse was formed, Phil actually came to us and asked us if it was okay for them to use the name Cannabis Corpse. And if we weren't with them, you know, if we were like, no, man, you know, that's too close, or, you know, that's not cool, you know, he wasn't going to use it. And we were like, man, we're flattered, you know, kind of honored, you know, in a way, you know, for them to make to do that, to parody it like that. So we, you know, we gave them, of course, all, you know, both thumbs up to go ahead with that, you know. So yeah, kind of interesting on that.
And they're actually a pretty decent band too. I saw quite a few of their albums when they come out, and I've got a lot of my younger generation of metal friends that are really into Cannabis Corpse.
Yeah, they're a good band, man. Cool guys, and a good band for sure.
Cool.
So John, anything else you want to talk about before we wrap it up tonight?
Just a minor thing. I mean, you guys done so much touring over the years. I mean, obviously you don't mind touring, I guess, because I mean, I know some people just do it because you have to do it, or is it like an enjoyable thing for you guys now to do? I mean, not to say, I don't want people to think that you're going out there being pissed off, but I mean, it is taxing, and not everyone likes it. I mean, I happen to be someone, I'm cool with it. I like doing it, but I know a lot of people that I tour with, you know, they're not so excited about it, you know?
Yeah, man, it's a tough thing, really. You know, I think everyone's different, like you said, of course. You know, I mean, obviously, I'd be lying to say if I was as gung ho as I was when I was 20 years old doing it for the first time, right? You know, where it's all brand new and you're just, you know, you got your whole future ahead of you and you're young and all this. And yeah, I mean, we've done so much touring over the years, you know. I mean,
probably the most of any death metal band.
I mean, yeah, I mean, you know, it's just a great thing, of course. You know, the band's there,
and we're off in spades.
Right. And you know, it kind of, it sucks when, you know, you can't just be a band like the old days where you're just out there playing, you know, we're just writing songs and having fun, and it's not about anything else but that, you know. And then obviously you always have in your back of your mind, right, like all of us musicians, it would be great if your band succeeded and, you know, and you were able to do something, you know, everyone dreams of that. And, you know, here we go, we got that, and that's awesome. But at the same time, it's like, oh my gosh, right, you know, it becomes your job, you know. And you hate to look at it in that way, but it does. It's how we make a living now, right? You know, we have to go on the road to, you know, if we want to sustain this band and sustain our living, because this is what we wanted to do, and we're doing it. So you know, it's a tough thing, man. I'll tell you, I mean, I'm at one point and one side, if I never left home again, I'd probably be like fine with that, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
I've seen the world. I'm so lucky that this band has made, given me the things I've gotten and seen the things I've seen and played in so many people and fans throughout the world. Amazing, right? But yeah, it gets harder when you get older, I think, I mean, you just, you're a different person in a lot of ways in that way. And it's a little more taxing on the body and, but
Sure.
so it's got to be done though, right? I mean, this is what you signed up for, and if you're going to do it to the end, then and do it the right way, then you find that way. You're doing the right thing and you're having a good time, especially when you're on stage. Finally, of course, I mean, because during the day, most of the time it's just what are you doing? You're just waiting to play, and then that's the highlight of the day because that's what you're there for. You're there to play in front of those fans and see those reactions and all that, and then why you're doing it and all. But man, it's not getting any easier, John. I'll tell you. Right? So,
Yeah.
I agree with all aspects of life, even running a record store, which I really haven't worked at in about a year because of the virus, and I'm taking care of my wife. And I tell you, you're home for a year now, and it's just a whole new thing. When you finally start going out again, it's going to be like learning how to walk again a little bit.
Oh, totally. I mean, this is
especially for performers and whatnot.
Right. I know it's crazy to think, it's going to be over 2 years maybe since we, 2.5 years since we will play. Hopefully, I don't know when we're going to play, but yeah, for everybody, for that reason, it's just crazy. But and then the older you get, the harder it is just to go back to it like that. That's what I was talking about earlier, Stephen, just playing. I mean, I got to keep playing. If I just didn't play or do anything right now, man, there's no way I can get back into it that easy at my age right now. And you got to maintain at this point.
It's like anything else. It's like if you haven't gone to the gym in a year, or you haven't played your drums, it's like you gotta
especially doing what we're doing with the physical aspect, right?
Oh yeah.
Being an athlete, man, you get older like this, you can't just expect to pick it up and do it, on sheer adrenaline and being a young guy, which we're not anymore. So
you stay in shape by playing hockey too, right?
Yeah, I play some hockey. It helps me out, definitely. I mean, I've always been active and I've always played hockey my whole life and all that. I love it. I feel privileged to be able to skate, and then put a stick in my hand and be able to actually play a game. I mean, it's a fun thing to do, and it's been embedded in me. I've been doing that longer than I've been a musician, of course, playing since I was 5 years old. So it's great exercise, man. I like to, I'm a physical guy. I like to go out and play. I'm not going to just sit back and not do anything. I'm on ice. I want to, try my hardest. I want to skate and, have fun and obviously, right. It's a good workout, So
you're on ice when you're playing right now in Florida, even. Are you on ice? Okay.
Florida,
okay. You're playing ice hockey. Okay.
Florida's like the Wild West, I mean, it's crazy. Ever since, we had the major lockdown, where everything was locked down back in, April, May of last year. Right? And then everything came back, and then it was shut down a little bit when the resurgence happened, maybe, I don't remember now, July, August, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
And then ever since it's reopened, oh yeah, everything's almost like kind of normal. I've been playing hockey for months now, and I know guys like in New York State where they're like, we haven't played in over a year. I mean,
that's right. I'm in New York. You can't do nothing.
Yeah, exactly. So I know how that goes depending on what state you are. But Florida, I guess luckily for us, if you want to play, you can play, so it's not like anybody's staying away because, well, I don't know. No, hey, if they're allowing us to play, well, then, everybody's there playing, and I've been doing it for months, which is, I guess, good for me and good for us. But,
keeps you in shape too.
Yeah. Because, right, if I'm living up where if I'm back in New York State or whatever, well, yeah, we're not talking hockey right now. We're going, my God, we haven't played in over a year. So who knows when we'll play again, right?
Yeah, I wasn't sure if you were playing street hockey or you were on skates on ice down there in Florida.
Yeah, no, it's ice. That's on the ice, and ice hockey's got pretty popular in the last 20 years. With the Lightning being down here, and then so many northern implants, of course. I mean,
Sure.
so many northern implants, people moving down here from all up in the Northeast, especially in Canada. And, you know, so we actually got some pretty good hockey too. But,
Nice.
but it's not like it was 30, 40 years ago where, you know, hock's unheard of in these warm weathers.
That's what I was even thinking. It's like you finding an ice skating rink in Florida inside right now. It's like, how you play there? It's no frozen ponds down there.
Not playing outside, that's for sure, man. No way, you know, and not going to happen. You know, it'd be fun,
Cool.
but not going to work.
So is there anything you'd like to add to the viewers or your fans before we wrap things up? And maybe, I don't know if John's got any more questions or not. But.
For myself, I just wanted to say thank you very much for, you know, the music, the friendship throughout the year. All you guys in Cannibal have always been super kind to all of us in, you know, all the bands back in the day. If it was back in the early days or, you know, the few times we play with you guys live and stuff, always been really courteous, go to shows. You guys are always really cool and stuff. It just, you know, there's not every band at lower levels of you than lower levels than you. I'm not saying it right, but anyway, bands that aren't as big as you, that are still, you know, kind of your peers, I guess, to some extent, are not always so kind and so cool. So we really appreciate the fact that you guys have always been really cool. And just, you know, it's I know for myself, when I see you guys, it's always a fun time. It's a happy thing to see you guys. And, you know, I speak for myself, and I'm sure many other people, is that we're, you know, proud of the success of Cannibal Corpse. And, you know, thank you for sticking with it, sticking to your guns, and you're not selling out, and just, you know, being a real person, that not letting the rock star stuff affect you guys. Cause, you know, it's really easy to let your ego get the best of you, you know?
Yeah. Right. Well, I really appreciate it, man. Thanks, John. It means a lot, man. It really does. And, you know, we just feel, you know, we're just happy to be in this position. Who are we, right? You know, we were just all kids growing up playing music that we all loved, you know, back in the day, still love it, of course. And then, you know, just happened to, you know, get to where we are at, you know, and we don't feel like we're better than anybody else or in any way. And, you know, we're just, you know, happy to hold the torch, I guess. And you know, and to, you know, we've always looked out for all our peers and, you know, for the younger bands. I mean, because man, life's too short, you know, and you got to have fun and you got to support each other. And, you know, it's a great thing, man. I appreciate it, John, really, man.
And so many bands from all different genres of metal you've taken out on the road and helped their career out as well. I mean, almost every band, I think, that is like big in the metal, you know, say any kind of extreme metal, probably opened up for Cannibal Corpse sometime in their career.
You're right. You know? And we felt obligated in a way, you know, to help everybody out. Like you said, who are we? You know, we're just, you know, kids that happen to, you know, be at the right place at the right time with some hard work and all that. And, you know, we're doing it. And if we're in a position to help, you know, that's what we felt we needed to do and want to do. You know, help the scene, help the young bands. And, you know, it's great that we had that opportunity. So yeah, I know, right? Crazy to think some bands like, well, I look at the one tour, I think it was, you know, what, maybe 18 years ago, something like that, where it was us, Dimmu Borgir.
Yeah.
I forgot the other band, but Lamb of God opening, you know.
Yeah.
And it's like, you
I saw that one.
Like, man, it's crazy, isn't it?
I'm
right?
sure.
You know?
I'm sure I saw that tour.
Yeah, there's so many examples of that. If you go back and look at your touring history, if anyone does that, you'll see almost every band that's popular now has opened for Cannibal Corpse at one point, especially if it was like a, you know, say like a mid 90s to now, almost everyone is open.
Yeah, I can remember going to Asbury Park to see you guys, and I don't remember what tour it was exactly, but Cynic was opening up for you.
Oh yeah, Fast Lane. No.
Yeah, it was at the Fast Lane.
I went to the Fast Lane. That was really early. That was a bit Butchered at Birth, because I think
it would have been 94. That would have been the Bleeding Tour.
Was Rutan on that album? No.
No, that was.
Okay, it must have been before that then, that you played the Fast Lanes with.
Yeah, and that might have been maybe well, you know, because we did a few tours back with Rutan, not that many when you look back for Butchered at Birth. Remember we did the Atheist tour, the Atheist Gorguts tour. That was like our first tour in '92, I think it was.
Might have been then, yeah.
And then we played with Sinister. We played with Unleashed. I remember a couple back then. but yeah, that was the Bleeding. I remember with the Cynic tour, because I remember we shared a bus with those guys.
You guys also toured with Behemoth, didn't you?
Yeah, we did that like 5 years ago, I think it was.
Yeah, that was a solid,
That was a good one. That was a good tour, man. Great
Behemoth's
band.
another band that's really grown in status from I guess they're black metal, but I consider them death metal also. Behemoth.
Yeah, they're maybe a little closer to death metal than black metal, but they're a great band, great guys.
Nurgle is a hard worker. I mean, he deserves he deserves the success too, because I mean, we toured with him, and I've seen how dedicated he is, and it's good to see people that work that hard do well.
Yep, you are so right. And he's definitely one of the hardest workers in metal and extreme music. So it's great to see that they, the success that they've had and are getting bigger. That's great for him and them. Yeah. So, but yeah, no, man, really, thanks guys for the interview, and thanks for the fans, of course, for supporting death metal and Cannibal Corpse over the years. And like you were saying earlier, John, right? If it wasn't for the fans, where would we be? Right? I mean, we wouldn't be where we're at. Or death metal wouldn't be where it's at. So
you might be a professional hockey star.
Man, I'd probably make some more money, I guess, maybe, or I would have blew my knee out, a year and I can't walk, so who knows, right?
Yeah. But actually for you, Cannibal was the safe bet.
Yeah, I think so.
You could have hung out with. We just interviewed Nasty Ronnie, and you could have been pro wrestling with Nasty Ronnie.
Yeah. Well, that might have been George, right? George and Ronnie. Tag team partners or something. So.
Well, I want everybody to go check out Cannibal Corpse. What's the website? CannibalCorpse.com.
I think it's CannibalCorpse.net. Actually, I believe.
.net. Okay,
yeah,
and
I believe so.
Wander over there, pre-order the new record if you'd like. You could also pre-order it on rockfantasy.com if you'd like, from our store, and go buy some shirts from them, because all these bands need your support to somehow surf through this freaking pandemic and the mess we're living in right now. And
pre-order it from Rock Fantasy too.
That's why I did say that.
Did you? I didn't miss it. Okay.
Well, I'm not out just to promote me. I'm trying to promote everybody.
Man,
It's been a pleasure having you on the channel, and hopefully we'll have you back on for a band panel or something down the road. If you like what you said, please hit subscribe. It helps you find out when we do more episodes. We have a bunch of new ones coming out this week, and we're going to have a Thin Lizzy panel on Wednesday with some very special guests that are going to be hopping on that channel on that episode. We've got Immolation coming up in about a week. We're going to be sitting down with those guys. I've got Mia Winter-Wallace from Nervosa and Abbott coming on over the weekend, and Diva Satanica from Nervosa is going to be joining us. So we've just been having fun during the pandemic and trying to stay sane.
Eric Myers from Dark Angel.
Oh, nice.
You got Dark Angel tomorrow night. That's right.
Yes. We have arrived.
Yes. That'll be a great one. Great.
So thank you for coming on today, and hit like and share your moments at Cannibal Corpse, some of the concerts you guys have seen, our viewers and stuff like that. If you'd like to put in the comments, and
you can put in the comments how much more you like George Fisher than Chris Barnes. That'd be great.
That's a good one.
Wow. Well, I've got some friends that are just the other way around.
I just like to stir up the pot. That's all.
So he doesn't like pro wrestling, but he likes the gimmicks. All right.
Yeah.